Salvete omnes. This is exercise A of chapter 48. This lesson features result clauses, that is, adverbial result clauses and substantive result clauses. Adverbial result clauses are introduced by ut for the positive, ut known for the negative. They take the subjunctive. They show the result or the consequence of an action, which is one, why they are adverbial, and two, why they are also known as consecutive clauses, because they are consequence clauses. They show the result or consequence of an action. A substantive result clause is either the subject or object of verbs of making, affecting, or happening. They're introduced by ut for the positive, ut known for the negative, and they also take the subjunctive. So let's look at these examples. They also take sequence of tenses. Number 1, efficit ut discessurissimus. Efficit ut discessurissimus. So efficit, we're supposed to translate this into English. Parse if you need to. Efficit. So efficit comes from efficio, efficere, effeci, effectus. We get the English word effect, as in an effect. That is the noun form, to an effect, as in a thing, cause and effect. Comes from ex facio, ex facio, meaning that you do something or make something to the point where you bring out or bring about something. That's where the ex comes into play. So he brings it about. He causes it to happen. He creates an effect. He affects that, he causes an effect so that something happens. The result of this action, what he's bringing about, is this. Or we could, yes, this is the object. This is the object. So the object of this verb, what does he bring about? Ask yourself, what is he causing? What is he bringing about? Answer, that we are about to discedo, discedere, discessi, discessos, to leave. We are about to leave. So present active indicative, efficit, third person singular. He causes it, primary sequence. This is a contemporaneous or subsequent action. We have the present tense of sum, but here it's working with a present active infinitive. I'm sorry, a present active participle. So it's like an active paraphrastic. We are about to. We are about to leave. He's causing it so that we are about to leave. He is causing it or making it with the result that we are about to leave. The consequence of what he's doing is that we're going to go. He is making it so that we are about to leave. He is bringing it about that we are about to leave. He's doing something. This is the cause, this is the effect. He's doing something, and the effect of that, the consequence of that, is that we're going to go. Optime, secunda, sententia secunda. Tantus est ut nemo eum superet. Tantus est ut nemo eum superet. So tantus est, we have tantus. Tantus, so this is, first off, number 1, that was a substantive result clause, substantive, in that it was a noun clause. What does he bring about? What thing? That we are about ready to go. So number 2, tantus est, we have tantus. That tips us off usually that we have a result clause. If we have tantus aum or talis e, or we have an adverb, we have sic, ita, adeo. Tom modifies adjectives and adverbs. Tantus est stands in for Tom magnus aum. So great, so large. Its correlative is quantus aum. How big? How great? What size? What's the quantity? How much? So tantus says so much, so great. Tantus est. He, masculine, tantus, if it were tanta with an A, we'd say feminine, or tantum with a neuter, we'd say it. Tantus, masculine. He is tantus. He is Tom Magnus. He is so great, so big. Then that begs the question, how great or how big is he? Quantus, how big or how great? That's going to be answered with an adverb. How great, how big? With the result that ut nemo. Notice we don't have ut non, we have ut nemo. That no one, eum superet, no one may defeat, surpass, overcome direct object him. He is so great that no one may overcome him. Optime, tertia, sententia tertia. Necesse est ut nihil faciamus. Necesse est, it is necessary. Necesse is neuter. It is necessary. What is it necessary? What is necessary? What's noun substantive clause? Because it's what. What is necessary? Substantive result clause with the result that faciamus nihil, that we do nothing. It is necessary that we do nothing. It is necessary, and the result of that is that we do nothing. What is the it? What is it necessary that we do? We do nothing. We could also say, us doing nothing is necessary. So we have primary sequence and contemporaneous or subsequent action, present subjunctive. Same thing with number 2. Number 2 is the adverbial result clause. 1 and 3 have been substantive result clauses. Number 4 is also a substantive result clause. It's introduced by accidit, which means something that happens. An accident is something that happens. It just ad cado, just sort of happened, just sort of fell right there, right into place. Accidit ut absit. Accidit, it happens or it happened. You can't tell by accidit by itself whether it's present or perfect tense, but check out that verb, absit. If it's present, absit. It's ab and then sit from ab sum, so sit, present tense, present third person singular subjunctive active of ab sum. Then we're in primary sequence, and accidit is present. It happens. It just so happens that, with the result that, he's absent. He is not here. He is away. Ab sum, ab away, absent. What happens? What's the subject of accidit? I know accidit's an impersonal verb, like necesse est, it is impersonal, it is necessary. Accidit, it is also, it happens. But really, the substantive result clause is the subject of accidit. What happened? He's absent. Him being absent is what happened. It happens that he is absent. It happens that he is away. Just so happens he's not here. Quinta, sententia quinta. Tot homines aderant, ut non omnes me audirent. Tot homines aderant, quot homines aderant. So many, tot, its correlative is quote. Quote is so, how many. Tot, so many. Tot homines aderant, so many people were present. Ad sum, opposite of ab sum, ad sum. So many people were present, secondary sequence. Quote, homines aderant, how many people were present? How many? Adverb clause, with the result that not all might hear me, with the result that not everyone heard me. We're in secondary sequence, imperfect subjunctive to show a contemporaneous action with that main verb. So while all the people were present, they were at the same time they could not hear me. They were not listening to me. So many people were present that they were not listening to me. The result of so many people being present is that ut non omnes me audirent. Not everyone was listening to me. Sexta, sententia sexta. Urbs erat talis ut omnes delectaret. Urbs erat talis. Urbs, city, erat talis. Talis is correlative, is qualis. So if qualis, quale means of what kind, what quality, what sort of thing is that? Qualis, quality. It's answered by talis, of such a kind, of such a quality, or in English we often just say such. The city was such. The city was such a kind. It was such a city, it was such a kind of city that omnes delectaret, that it pleased everyone. The city was the sort of city that it pleased everyone. The sort of city to please all. It was the sort of city, and the result of it being that sort of city, talis, the result of that is that it, delectare, pleased omnes, everyone. Omnes being the accusative direct object of delectare. We are in secondary sequence because erat is a past tense imperfect, so we have the imperfect subjunctive. This is an adverbial result clause. Septima, sententia septima. Necesse erat ut ambularemus. Ambularemus. So, or ambularemus. So, necesse erat. We already know we have a substantive result clause introduced by necesse. So, it was, past tense, imperfect, it was necessary. What was it necessary? With the result that we walk. It was necessary that we walk. What was necessary? Us walking. What? Substantive. Substantive noun clause. What was it necessary to do? That we walk. So secondary sequence, imperfect subjunctive. 8. Octava. Tam longe abest, ut id non videant. Tam longe abest. Tam longe abest. It is so far away. It is so far away. Tam longe. Tam, T-A-M, is an adverb that modifies adjectives, modifies other adverbs. Tam longe. So longe is an adverb form of longa saom, long or distance. So longly, which we don't say, but we do say far off. Longe means far off, at a distance. So far off, so far away, abest. He is so far away. How far away is he? Screams somebody who wants to know the answer, the adverb clause. Ut id non videant, adverbial result clause. The result of him being so far away was that they were not able to see it. So he's not far away, it. It is so far away, primary sequence, with the result that they, some third person plural, they may not see it. They don't see it. So videant, third person plural, present active subjunctive of video, videre, vidi, visus. We've got the negative ut non. So adverbial result clause. Nona, sententia nona. Ita territus erat ut fugeret. Ita territus erat ut fugeret. Ita is an adverb meaning thus, in such a way. It can also mean so. So territus erat. He was thus frightened. He was frightened in such a way. He was so frightened. How frightened was he? In what way was he frightened? How was he frightened? With the result that fugeret. He ran away. He fled. Territus erat. He was so frightened. He was frightened in such a way, with the result that he fled. Secondary sequence, imperfect active of sum, erat. He was ita territus. He was so afraid that he fled. Ita can modify adjectives as it does here. Can modify verbs. Can modify adverbs. Sic is normally confined to just verbs. And demum, decima, sententia decima. Factum est ut multi venirent. Factum est ut multi venirent. Factum est. Remember that the passive of facio, facere, feci, factus is a semi-deponent separate verb of facio, and it's fio, fieri, factus sum. So it's present, imperfect, and future. Those will conjugate like a normal verb, fio and fiebam and fiam. It does not have a passive because it is the passive of facio. But in the perfect and pluperfect and future perfect, it'll be formed from the factus, the supine part. So factum est, meaning it was done, it was made, that equals it happened. It was done equals it happened. It was done equals it happened. It is being done equals it is happening. Those are equivalent in Latin. So factum est, it was done. It has been done. It happened. Ut multi venerant, with the result that, well, what happened? What thing happened? Substantive noun clause. What thing happened? With the result that multi venerant. Many coming over was what happened. Ut multi venerant. It happened that many came. Secondary sequence, factum est, it's perfect passive, and then venerant is the imperfect subjunctive. Factum est, ut multi venerant. It just so happened that many showed up. Many came. Optime, very well done. You are now ready to move on to exercise B of chapter 48.